Silence is a strange weapon. It doesn't scream, doesn't beg, doesn't storm out in anger, and it doesn't need to prove anything. It simply exists, calm, cold, steady, and it speaks volumes without uttering a single word. Most men don't realize the true power of silence until they are forced to use it, and women never see it coming until it's too late. You see, when you go silent, not out of spite, not to manipulate, but because you are protecting your peace and standing. In your power, that silence cuts deeper than any insult or argument ever could. It's colder than any goodbye and far more haunting than any words you could ever say. Because silence is not the absence of emotion. It is the announcement of self-control. It is the declaration that you are no longer willing to participate in chaos, that you will no longer explain yourself to someone who doesn't want to understand, that your energy is no longer for sale. When a man who has once given his love, consistency, and energy goes silent, it shifts the power dynamic in a way that no shouting match ever could. It flips the entire narrative and forces her to feel everything she has been avoiding while you were always there, explaining, fixing, and trying to understand. She's used to men chasing her, apologizing, begging for forgiveness, trying to reason with her chaos, and fighting to prove their worth. But when you withdraw with calmness and quiet dignity, it terrifies her in a way she cannot express. She doesn't know how to respond because she can't predict your next move. She can't read your warmth, your energy, your attention, your love, or even your anger anymore. She is locked out, and for the first time, the man she thought she controlled becomes a mystery again. A mystery that begins to break her down from the inside quietly. Asterisk. We'll pretend she's fine because pretending is easier than admitting the truth to herself or to anyone watching her. She will post smiling selfies, filtered moments, nights out with friends, and captions about living her best life. She'll share quotes about strength and independence, pretending your silence doesn't echo through every empty space in her day. But the truth is that silence sits with her in the quiet moments she can't distract herself from. When the phone is in her hand, but it stays dark. When the night is long, and the noise fades, and there's no one left to prove anything. 2. That's when your absence becomes real. She feels it when she scrolls through old messages, replays your voice notes, wonders if she read everything wrong. Regret creeps in slowly at first. A dull ache that grows sharper every time she remembers the ways she dismissed you. Her replay the moments she brushed you off, the cold shoulders she gave when you tried to open up, the last argument she started over nothing. She'll run through every detail like an investigator at a crime scene, trying to figure out when exactly you slipped through her fingers. But the truth she won't say out loud is that it wasn't one big moment that broke you. It was the 1,000 small dismissals she thought didn't matter. It was how she confused your stability for boredom and your loyalty for weakness. Now, while she tries to distract herself with noise, your silence keeps whispering the truth she wants to escape, that you were always the calm she never knew how to appreciate. And now that you've removed it, she is stuck alone with her chaos, forced to face the storms she always projected onto you. In the quiet she created, your absence is the loudest thing she hears. Asterisk. She will try to replace you because it's easier to reach for a temporary distraction than to sit in the regret your silence has created. She may try to fill the void you left with attention from others, posting stories with people who don't know her the way you did, laughing a little too loud, posing a little too confidently, hoping you see it and that it stirs something in you. She may even convince herself that moving on quickly will numb the ache. But deep down, she knows it doesn't. Because it was never just about having someone around. It was about how you made her feel. Your masculine calm, your steady presence, the way you didn't just listen but understood her chaos without judgment. That is what she misses, even if she won't admit it to herself. Every other man feels like noise now. They talk too much, try too hard, chase her in ways that once fed her ego but now feel empty. They don't hold frame the way you did, and they don't make her feel safe the way you did when you were there, present and consistent. Your silence removed more than your presence. Removed the standard she never realized you had set. Now everything else feels cheap, and she begins to understand that the love you offered was rare. And in quiet moments, when the nights are long and the phone remains silent, it dawns on her that it wasn't your presence she took for granted. It was the safety and peace you brought with it. She starts to see that you weren't just another guy, but a man who brought her a sense of stability she didn't know she needed until it was gone, leaving her alone with the noise of her choices, facing herself in the reflection of your absence. Asterisk, most men break the silence too soon, giving in to the pull of old habits, replying to her bait, explaining themselves one more time just to be understood, just to clear the air, just to keep the connection alive, even if it's only a thread. They tell themselves it's closure. They need that one last message will bring peace, but it never does. It only reopens the door you closed for your own peace, pulling you back into the cycle you worked so hard to break. Don't do it. Your silence is power, the clearest boundary you have ever drawn. It is not a weapon of revenge, but a shield that protects your energy from being drained by someone who didn't value it. It is the language of a man who has grown beyond the chaos, who no longer chases validation, who no longer begs to be seen, by someone who chose to look away when he was right in front of her. She may test your silence, sending a late-night message, a subtle like on your post, a casual comment designed to pull your attention back to her orbit to see if she still has access to you. But by then, you will have changed. You will have turned your pain into discipline, your longing into purpose, your quiet into progress. You will have learned that her attention now is meaningless, not because you are bitter, but because you are healed. What she wants now is not connection, but reassurance that she still has power over your emotions. She can still pull you back into her world whenever she feels lonely. But your silence is your reminder that you have moved on, that you have become a man who no longer negotiates his peace, who no longer confuses chaos with love, who has returned fully to himself without needing her to notice. Asterisk, your silence becomes the loudest message she will ever receive, echoing through her mind in every quiet moment she tries to ignore. It tells her without saying a word that you are done, not out of anger or spite, but with a calm finality that leaves no door open for her to walk back through. While she is out seeking attention, collecting compliments from men who can't touch, her soul, trying to fill the void with noise, you are building, healing, transforming. You are becoming the man who no longer needs to explain himself, no longer needs to prove his worth to someone who could not see it, no longer seeks closure from a story that ended the moment you chose yourself over chaos. She will feel this deeply, even if she never speaks it out loud, because your silence isn't just the absence of noise. It is the presence of peace, a peace she didn't know how to value until it was gone. She will replay memories, the moments. You were patient, the times you showed up for her, the safety she felt in your presence that she now realizes she can't find in anyone else. Your glow will be undeniable, your spirit lighter, your energy sharper. You will walk with purpose, speak with clarity, and live with a calmness that can only come from a man who is no longer seeking validation from the wrong places. She will watch, even if you never see it, and it will haunt her because she will realize too late that you were never just another man passing through her life. You were the man who offered her something real, who brought peace to her storm, who loved with intention and who left with dignity. And it is in your silence that she will finally learn what true loss feels like.